Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been pulling your hair out trying to figure out exactly how to position your brand in this rapidly shifting world of AI search, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to completely demystify that bombshell documentation Google dropped back on May 15th, 2026, all about their generative AI features. There's just so much noise out there right now, right? But today, we're cutting through it all. By the end of this explainer, you're going to walk away with a clear, actionable, and definitive checklist, mapping out exactly what tactics you need to stop doing immediately and what you absolutely must start doing to drive your future growth.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really ground our conversation, you've probably been hearing a lot of alphabet soup lately. Specifically, these two acronyms getting thrown around everywhere: GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization, and AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. Basically, these just refer to the practice of optimizing your content so it actually gets cited and surfaced by AI search engines. Now, for the past year or so, the marketing industry has been in a total panic, treating GEO and AEO like they're these completely new, mysterious disciplines that need a totally different playbook from traditional SEO. But Google's latest documentation, it actually fundamentally changes that whole narrative.
I want to drop a quote right here that just completely shatters the industry hype. This is straight out of Google's May 15th documentation. Optimizing for generative AI search is optimizing for the search experience and thus still SEO. Bam! Mechanically, Google's AI overviews and AI mode are powered by what's called retrieval-augmented generation and query fan-out. So what does that actually mean for you and me? It means they pull directly from Google's regular search index using the exact same core ranking systems. There is absolutely no separate hidden AI ranking layer secretly running underneath Google's AI features. The content that ranks well in classic search is literally the exact same content that's eligible to get cited in an AI overview.
So how do we translate that reality into an actual strategy? Well, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Tactics to stop immediately. 2. The essential SEO foundation. 3. The non-Google AI landscape. And 4. Priorities for future growth.
All right, part 1. Tactics to stop immediately.
We are going to do a quick teardown of some heavily sold industry myths right out of the gate. Let me ask you this directly, because it's been one of the most fiercely debated tactics lately. Should you delete your lms.txt file?
The short answer is no. But, and this is a massive but, you really need to stop paying for tools that generate it. Google's documentation clearly states that their crawler might discover your lms.txt file just like, any other text file. But it gets absolutely zero special treatment when it comes to ranking or AI inclusion. For Google AI overviews, this file is just not a lever you can pull. Now, the nuance here is that some non-Google AI platforms, especially Anthropic's Claude and some smaller open-source projects, might actually still read it. So if you already have one, sure, keep it. But absolutely stop paying for tools that are trying to pitch this to you as some sort of magical Google AI strategy.
Okay, let's cross a few more things off your budget list, shall we? Stop funding these ineffective tactics right now. First up, content chunking. Google explicitly says you do not need to slice your articles up into weird 50-word answer blocks just to please an AI parser. Their systems can understand multiple topics on a long page perfectly fine. Second, stop rewriting your copy into special AI-friendly formats. Google says its systems understand synonyms and general meanings, so writing naturally for actual humans is still your strongest signal. Third, definitely stop buying inauthentic brand mentions on random blogs or forums to try and trick the AI. Google's spam systems already recognize and block those patterns. And lastly, stop treating schema markup as a direct AI citation mechanism. Look, there's no special AI cheat code hidden in schema. You should absolutely still use structured data for your overall SEO and rich results, for sure, but it's not a direct ticket to AI citations.
Part 2. The essential SEO foundation.
And this brilliantly illustrates the shift. We're pivoting from the teardown to the rebuild. Google draws a really sharp line here between commodity content and non-commodity content. So, commodity content, it's replaceable. Think of an article like 7 Tips for First-Time Home Buyers. An AI model can synthesize that exact information from literally 1,000 different sites. Non-commodity content, on the other hand, is entirely different. Imagine an article titled, "Why We Waived the Inspection and Saved Money, a Look Inside the Sewer Line." You see the difference? It adds completely unique insight, original data, and real first-hand experience that a machine simply cannot invent out of thin air. Commodity content gets ignored. Non-commodity content is what actually earns you the citation.
Building on that unique content, you really need to maintain your classic SEO infrastructure because that is your fundamental floor for visibility. So keep doing the basics. Keep ensuring your technical health and crawlability are spot on. Keep using semantic HTML and delivering a super fast page experience. Interestingly, the documentation explicitly calls out multimedia, so images and video are actually getting surfaced directly in AI responses now. And whatever you do, don't forget your entity signals. Make absolutely sure your Merchant Center feeds and Google Business profiles are pristine. Why? Because Google's AI features are pulling that commercial and local data straight into their answers.
Part 3. The non-Google AI landscape.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this is where we have to shift our perspective a bit. Because Google's rules, they don't apply to the whole internet. It's actually kind of wild how dramatically different these retrieval architectures are. Google's AI features run on Google's index, right? But look at ChatGPT. It pulls heavily from Bing search results, and it really skews its citations toward Wikipedia, Reddit, and high-authority editorial domains. Then you have Perplexity, which is a real-time, citation-first engine that leans incredibly heavily on Reddit. And Claude? It works a lot through user-uploaded knowledge, connected services, and web search. So if your brand is seeing a massive difference in citation share between ChatGPT and Google AI overviews, you're not dealing with two different ranking systems. You're actually running one content strategy against two completely different architectures that read the web in entirely different ways. Strong Google SEO is absolutely a prerequisite, but it's just not sufficient on its own anymore.
Part 4. Priorities for future growth. Which brings us to our final executive checklist. This is your definitive start doing mandate for your next budget cycle. But before we get into the steps, why should you even care? Why invest any budget here at all? 120%. According to some recent data from Seer Interactive, cited brands inside Google AI overviews actually earn about 120% more organic clicks per impression than uncited brands on the exact same queries. 120%. And get this, AI overviews are showing up on roughly 48% of tracked Google queries, and that number jumps to an insane 88% in healthcare and 82% in B2B tech. That 120% citation premium, that is your exact ROI justification. Earning a citation isn't just a vanity metric anymore, it's a massive driver of actual measurable traffic.
So the crucial point is how you actually capture that premium. Here are the 3 steps you need to take right now. Step 1. Implement cross-platform citation tracking. You have to stop treating AI visibility as just one single metric. You need to know exactly how you appear in ChatGPT versus Perplexity versus Google AI overviews. Step 2. Build a third-party presence. Since platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity are looking way beyond just your website, you have to be actively engaged on the platforms they're actually reading. Think Reddit, YouTube, and Wikipedia. You've got to earn those genuine editorial mentions. Step 3. Conduct thorough entity consistency audits. You need to make sure your brand name, your product names, and your category descriptions read exactly the same across the entire open web. That way, every single AI model, regardless of how it's built, understands exactly who you are and what you do.
You know, the shift we've been anticipating, it isn't just something in the future anymore. It's literally right here. The rules for Google are pretty clear. For them, it's still SEO. But for the rest of the web, the whole game has expanded. So I want to leave you with this question to chew on before your next strategy meeting. If the shift to AI search is already here, is your brand fundamentally positioned to be the answer, or are you still paying to optimize for the past? Take this checklist, audit where you stand right now, and start building for the search ecosystem we actually live in today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy optimizing.